welcome back to my channel. If you are new here and like the video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more content. Thank you for watching. Hello everybody, I'm alive. So yes, I went on a hiatus that turned into a lot more than just what I had originally planned. This was originally a TikTok that I posted for a YouTube short, and that was highly requested to be turned into a one-shot, but obviously been turned into two, so definitely go check out the TikTok and YouTube short. I'll put the link in the description. As for this title, Born to Die, it was actually the song from Lana Del Rey. I was literally binging this song, like constant repeat the entire time I was writing this. So like, I don't know, it really has nothing to do with anything, it just came to me. Anyways, you guys have waited long enough, so let's get to it. Oh wait, but first, there are some trigger warnings. There is mentions of blood and all that gory things, cause you know, whenever I write angst, it has to be morbid apparently. The raven slouched in his seat, with his fingers roughly massaging his temples, trying desperately to soothe the persistent headache. The tolling practice showed in his features, dark circles cascading underneath his eyes. Yet, this didn't stop the blonde from consisting with this point of the argument they were having in the midst of dinner. Look, Atsu, can we finish this tomorrow? I'm tired. He sighed whenever he felt the air around him grow more dense. Are you seriously suggesting we go to bed still fighting? You know that'll just set the mood tomorrow. The taller groaned in annoyance. Atsumu, he warned, using a less gentle tone. I'm tired. You know what? Fine. Go to bed. Just don't expect to wake and find me. This got Sakusa to finally look up. What? I don't want to sleep next to you when you can't even look me in the eye. The blonde gathered his things, with the latter stopping him by the wrist. Wait, I'll sleep on the couch. It's too late for you to go out. Atsumu glanced out the window. The pitch-black night made the city streets still with sleep. Only the light of the moon made a dull shimmer. It was about a 20-minute walk to his brother's house, but his stubbornness was no match to consider with reason. You're obviously too tired to continue this. Just go to bed. He yanked his arm out of his lover's grasp and stormed out of the entryway, slamming the front door shut behind him. In the midst of everything, Atsumu knew that this was his fault. After all, he is the one who started the argument, although it might have seemed unintentional. He groaned, entering the convenience store. His stomach rumbled, noticing the absence of his dinner that still laid on the dining room table, left untouched. Debating on whether if he should choose between a rice ball and cup ramen, he grabbed both and a drink before getting rung up. Damn it. He searched his pockets, realizing he left his wallet behind, and looked through for some spare change. There was only enough for the rice ball. This really isn't my night. Just the rice ball, please. He stepped out of the store, practically devouring his food before sitting on the bench next to the store to reevaluate on things. If he were to tell the truth, he doesn't recall what started the argument, nor what it was even about. He felt stupid, like he fell into the hands of anger and arrogance. Atsumu stood up, readying himself to walk to his brother's after realizing he spent quite a bit of time sitting around. Ugh, I really got to fix this. He ran his fingers through his tangled hair, frustrated at himself. I'll tell him when I get home. Tomorrow. It felt a little too awkward to turn back around. Besides, he was fairly close to Osamu and Suna's residence. He was so caught up in his mind, he startled whenever he heard a raspy voice from behind him. Who said that? Who said what? Underneath his hood, the corner of his lips twisted in a foul smirk. He smelled of booze and weed that made Atsumu's nose curl up in disgust. Who said that you would make it home? His voice erupted into a howling laughter that bounced off the walls of the alleyway. The sitter's eyes widened in pure terror. He quickly turned on his heel and started to run. Before he was pulled back by the hair, he cried out in pain, dropping his phone in the process. Someone help! Yet no one would hear his voice on this still and deadly night. Sakusa laid in bed in clean pajamas. His body was exhausted, yet he was wide awake, staring blankly at the ceiling. He couldn't sleep. He tried to, time and time again, yet he couldn't bring himself to. It was like the universe was pulling him back to reality on purpose, to keep him conscious. It made him anxious, leaving a sour taste in his mouth. He reached over to the nightstand, grabbing his phone, accidentally yanking the cord out. He knew he shouldn't push Atsumu when he was like this, so instead he dialed his twin. He wanted to make sure he at least made it there safely. It took a few rings before Atsumu picked up, responding with a raspy voice, as if he had just woke up. No, that wasn't right. If Atsumu was there, wouldn't they still be talking? He swallowed the anxiety that grew by the second, already getting out of bed, pulling his pajama shirt off, looking for his clothes. Hello? Hey, I have a quick question. Sakusa? It's fucking 2 in the morning. Can't this wait? Fully clothed, he ran over to slip on his shoes. It'll be quick, I promise. This new type of urgency was not like Sakusa whatsoever, so made the former Specker wake up fully. Is Sumu okay? He paused. His mind began whirling a million miles a second. He knew he should have stopped him from leaving. He'd sleep on the couch 12 times over if it meant he never took a step out of that front door. Did he not make it to your place? His voice was surprisingly quiet. Maybe the sound of his pounding heart deafened him from everything else. What do you mean, did he make it to my place? His voice seemed to wake Suna, since Sakusa heard a voice on the other line. Samu? Osamu jumped out of bed and ran down the stairs, becoming more alarmed seeing his couch empty. He's not here. How long ago did he leave? Sakusa shut the door behind him, walking into the night. About 2 hours ago. I never should have. Damn it, this is my fault. Osamu ran back up the stairs to see his lover sitting up in bed with the lamp on. He shuffled over to get his clothes from earlier. Okay, I need you to calmly explain what happened. Suna mouthed a quiet, "What's wrong?" Osamu replied by putting the phone on speaker. We just got into a fight, and then he left to your place. I told him not to, but he just left. You got into a fight? You know. I know. If he has so much as a scratch because of this, then you'll kill me. I know. Can we please focus on finding him? His twin was missing. This really was no time to be throwing half-assed threats. Alright, we will all go look for him. Hopefully we can find him before anything else happens. Right. Everything seemed hazy. Atsumu's vision would blur in and out. He finally understood why Sakusa felt so agitated with this throbbing headache. Except he couldn't complain about it with a piece of fabric tied over his lips, making him unable to utter a sound. His hands were bounded by rope straight in the air. He felt as if he moved an inch, his shoulder would pop out of place. A crimson red oozed down the side of his head, with shades of purples and blues decorating his entire body. It began to hurt to breathe. Even though he could still see, it was pitch black. He couldn't tell where he was. His eyes stunk. He never felt this scared in his entire life. He wanted nothing more but Sakusa to be by his side, holding him, assuring that everything would be okay. But that wasn't reality. The true, cruel reality was he was going to die here. This was where his entire life led him to. He was born to die there, at that very spot where no one would ever find him. Atsumu wanted to scream. How could his last words to the love of his life be such bitter words? That's exactly why he couldn't bring himself to go to sleep without the argument resolved. No one ever knows what will happen at night, so no one should ever go to bed without a resolution, or all that will be left behind is regret. Regret. That's all he feels. His phone was probably wrecked in that alleyway, and he was there, alone, injured, already knee-deep in his own demise. His head shot up, hearing the door open in front of him. He whimpered, hearing the loud footsteps approach him, his heart rate increasing with each step. So you're finally awake. He was yanked forward, screaming against the fabric, feeling his shoulder pop and his wrist rub raw against the rope. Omi. Sakusa ran down the alleyway, falling down after tripping over his foot. He sucked in a deep breath, feeling the oxygen strangling his own lungs. It burned. He was panicking. Alive without Atsumu. He didn't want to even imagine it, and that thought may become the ugly truth. His hand clutched over his chest, yanking on the fabric of his shirt. Atsu, I will find you. He turned his head, a gleam of light catching his eyes on the ground. It was a phone, Atsumu's phone specifically, that was shattered on the ground with the light of the moon shining upon it. Surrounding the phone was clumps of hair and splotches of blood. It was like there was a sign of struggle, like Atsumu knew that he was in trouble, but found out too late and fought back. Yet, he wasn't able to run. Now, he was gone. Sakusa! Osamu ran up behind him and gasped, seeing the scene in front of the Raven. Is that... He's been kidnapped. He's gone. He let the tears that threatened to spill fall, his eyes finding their way back to the blood and hair on the ground. He was hurting. He is injured. He could be... Atsumu could be dead, or dying. Come on, we need to go to the police station. You go. He stood up, although his body begged him to stay down. What? I'm going to keep looking for him. I can't wait for them. I'll call you if I find him or some lead. I just can't sit by while he is out there, alone and scared. Osamu sighed, understanding that their time together as a couple made Atsumu's stubbornness rub off of the ace. Fine. Do not hesitate to call. First sign of danger, get out of there immediately. You care. The shoulder scoffed. As if my brother would come back from the dead if it meant he could tear me a new one if you got hurt. Sakusa winced at the mention of death, but understood, after all, he would do the same. Got it. The two separated, one running to the police station to report what had happened, and the latter dashing into the night to find his lover. I swear, I wrote this like 2 weeks ago. I'm just not getting to record, and I'm so sorry about that. Oh my god. Okay. Yes, so there's 2 different parts. If luck is on my side again, I will hopefully have the second part done by tomorrow. If not, you're just on a cliffhanger. Sorry, not sorry. But this is definitely a good hurt comfort way to come back to my channel. Yeah. See you next part. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you'd like to be kept up to date, check out any of my social medias. I hope that you all have a wonderful day or evening.